I grew up right here in Port Dover, born and raised. I've seen the development. I've seen our town go from a very busy fishing town into a very busy tourist spot. A lot of tourism throughout the summer. We've got a very busy tourist schedule around here, that's for sure. Uh, I know all the different neighborhoods, every street, backwards and forwards. I grew up on these streets. Uh, so stick around here. I'm going to talk about Port Dover in the area. And at the very end, I got a little bit of a bonus for you. So let's get started right now. Hey, this is Peter Butler, and thanks for joining me in the video. If this is your first time here, you're in the right spot to learn about Port Dover and what it's like to live in this area, live in the town, all the great amenities we've got, the neighborhoods. And if it is also your first time here, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button and the little tiny little bell. That way you'll get notifications on when I upload more videos, which I'm doing every week. We've got people contacting us daily, asking about Port Dover, what it's like to live here, the different neighborhoods, some of the amenities. So feel free to contact me. The number's here all over the place, as well as my email address. There's 16 different ways to contact me. So by all means, contact me. I'm happy to meet new people and talk about our great little town here. I did grow up here in Port Dover, born and raised. My wife is from here as well. Linda's from town as well. We both grew up in town, and we raised our kids here. I'm going to talk about some of the areas that make up Port Dover, what I like and what I don't like. I'm going to be honest, and I'll also explain why. We've all got different opinions on some of this stuff, and I'm not just offering an opinion. I want you to understand what it is about the town that makes it so special, because certainly it is all the pluses and minuses, pros and cons. Every town has them. But here's the thing. I'm going to offer you some great information so you can make good, qualified decisions. So talking about the areas in Port Dover, as you're aware, is right on the shores of Lake Erie. And we've got sort of the older part of town, which is central. We've got the northern part, we've got the eastern part, and the western part, if we can kind of separate it like that. But in the northern part, when you first come in from Simcoe on Highway 6, you're going to come in, you're going to find the grocery store and the Catholic subdivision. Now, we called it the Catholic subdivision when I was a kid because St. Cecilia's School and the church is right there. Now, that's an older subdivision back there, but they have newer construction as well. It's a nice part of town. You're in the north end. It's quiet up at that end. Of course, tourism happens closer into the beach area and down in the downtown core, but it is a lovely area. Behind No Frills there, the grocery store is like I say, newer construction. Those houses were built probably in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. It's a wonderful spot. Now, here's the thing about being on the, let's call it the north side of Highway 6 when you come into town, as opposed to being on the south side. When you're on the north side, you're close to the grocery store. You've got the highway to cross. When you're on the south side of that highway, again, you're close to grocery shopping and all that kind of stuff, and it's an easy walk to all that stuff, and there's no real highway to cross. But it is a lovely area. When you get into Old Port Dover, you can actually see the map here behind me on the wall. That's actually Port Dover. When you get down into older Port Dover, what I call older Port Dover, you've got St. George Street and St. Andrew Street, St. Patrick, First Ave, Regent Street used to be Second Ave, it's now Regent Street. But it's a lovely area as well. A lot of older homes that have been around for a long time, larger lots, that's for sure. But you're within an easy walking distance of downtown and the beach and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing, it's a little busier downtown in the summertime. Like I say, I'll be honest with you, there's a challenge for tourist parking here in Port Dover. So what we find is that the St. George Street in particular tends to fill up with parking, and some of the side streets as well, because people are parking and then walking down to the beach to enjoy the beach and the water and get some French fries and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, the downtown core, again, you're at an easy walk of all the shops and all the shopping, and we'll get into more of that in more detail in future videos. But so going out, if we could look at the west side, coming in the west side of Port Dover, you come in, it's an easy access in Nelson Street, Radical Road. You come in that way, it is along the water. You're going to see some great houses on the water side that are all waterfront properties. Some of those homes out in that area were older cottages back in the day, but people have been buying those up and putting in some lovely homes. So it's a nice drive in. You'll see a lot of the bikes when they come to Port Dover, a lot of tourists that are coming in that way as well. to drive along the lake and see all those lovely houses. You will come in. You're going to go by the subdivision, Richardson Drive subdivision, Thompson Drive, all that through there. Those houses were built, I'm going to say, probably in the mid 80s to the mid 90s. A lot of those houses were built. Lovely homes. A lot of them are that 80s and 90s style. The back split, side split, raised ranches, stuff like that. Nice houses. A lot of them have been updated recently, so it's a nice area to live in. Again, easy walk to get downtown and all that great stuff. Now, when you go into the east end of town, now you're coming in from Jarvis on Highway 6. You're going to come into the Brant Hill area, Brant Hill, Brown Street. Brown Street goes along the waterfront on the east side of town. Again, you're into all those waterfront properties, and it's just a lovely view down there. It's a great spot. A lot of the houses have been updated. Same with the Brant Hill area. A lot of the houses up in there when I was a kid, those were summer cottages, and now they've been either winterized or torn down, and of course, large homes, lovely homes, have been put in there. But it's a very nice spot as well in the Brant Hill, Brown Street area. Now, when we go a little further out the eastern, we'll put a break in here. Technical difficulties there. We got through that. So when you come back out Highway 6 a bit, you get out into the Newport side of Highway 6. It comes out past our water tower, and Port Over Kia is there as well. When you're on the north side of Highway 6, you're back in the Newport, Don John area. Lovely homes in there because Black Creek runs through there, and some of the properties along Don John, they're actually riverfront. They run along the river there, and there's some beautiful homes in there as well. Newport has some great homes. Those houses were built starting in probably the mid-2000s, and some wonderful homes. You get back, and there's a newer area called the Flats of Black Creek. Now, that's back in that area as well. Again, north of Highway 6 and the east end of town. These houses are just spectacular. I love the architectural style. They use a lot of natural wood and timber and stone. Just some wonderful homes they've been building down there. Now, when you, again, that Highway 6 on the south side, there's a little subdivision right next to the Port Dover Storage Company where they have all the storage area. There's a subdivision there. It's an older one called Woodhouse Acres. Now, there's 3 streets, Woodhouse, Martin, and Lakeview. And there's a cross street, Benson. This is an older subdivision built in probably, I'm going to say, the mid to late 60s. A lot of the homes in there are that older style, but we're seeing a lot of the houses that have been updated, and they're very nice. And it's a nice area to live. One of the bonuses of living in Woodhouse Acres is that every property within Woodhouse Acres has a right of way to the lake. So, which is kind of cool to know that and be able to have that access down to the water. Now, it's a bit of a challenge. I'm not going to lie. Bit of a challenge to get down there because at the end of Martin, the end of Lakeview, and the end of Woodhouse, the cliff's a little bit steep. So, but again, like I say, you do have that access to get down there, and it is a nice part of town. Now, what I like about being in the Woodhouse Acres, Newport, Don John area, or being out in the West End, in the Catholic subdivision, or Whitewater in behind No Frills and that, you're on the edge of town. So when it's busy downtown, and there's all the tourists and a lot more traffic, you can go downtown and enjoy all that, but then you can go back home and all that stays downtown. So it's quieter on the edges of town. It's not quite as busy. You're in and out of town quite easy. But that's one of the bonuses of living on the edge of town like this. But so going back into the north end of town, of course, like I mentioned about the Catholic subdivision. There's a road that runs out called the Cockshot Road. It's the sort of the third access into town. And when you come in that way, you're coming in Prospect Hill, Golden Meadow Drive, Colby Drive, all these subdivisions, just wonderful places to live. They're building some beautiful homes. Now, what we're seeing in Port Dover, typically in the new construction in the last 25 years, has been single family, single level, main floor living type homes. So main floor living in that there's a large master bedroom with an ensuite, usually a secondary bedroom, main floor laundry, attached garage, stuff like that. We have seen a change in demographics over the years as well. Certainly when I was a kid, there was the Port Dover Public School, Doverwood Public School, St. Cecilia's Elementary School, and then there was Port Dover Composite School, the high school. So basically there was 3 elementary schools and a high school. Today there is still the St. Cecilia's Elementary School, but there's also Lakewood Elementary. There's no more high school in town. A lot of people looking to move to Port Dover are either retired or looking to retire in the near future. That's something that we've been seeing. But it's just a lovely little town. The downtown core, when I talk about some of the stores, this area in downtown Port Dover has been developed since the mid to late 1800s, so a long, long time. And there's some wonderful shops in town, wonderful stores, little craft shops as well. Again, very busy, very popular in the summertime. Wintertime, still we get tourists as well. In the wintertime, people popping down. A lot of times our winters are kind of mild; they're not too bad. So popping down in the wintertime is actually a thing as well. You'll see tourists doing, but very popular spot. Now, the bonus I'm going to give you is the best cup of coffee in town. So there's actually 3 places that I would tell you about for the best cup of coffee in town, in my opinion. And this is in no particular order, but I love going to the coffee shop right on Main Street. It's called The Coffee Shop, right across from Royal Bank. Dave and Kathy are in there. They're wonderful people. The joke I always say is you tell them that I sent you, they'll charge you double, but it's really good food. They have wonderful food, and the coffee, they got a great cup of coffee as well. Another place is Coco Cabana, right down at the beach. It's a great little bakery. They make fudge down there, chocolate fudge, all types of different chocolates, and they have hot chocolate and espresso and coffee, and it's just a wonderful cup of coffee. The third place that I would recommend, again, not in any particular order, is the Urban Parisian. Now, the Urban Parisian, Brad and Melanie run the Urban Parisian, and they have some wonderful breads, and they've started with deviled eggs, and they have pizza, and they have all these cookies and macarons, and just a wonderful bake shop. And I tell you, Brad is an amazing chef, and there's some wonderful meals that come out of there as well. But again, their coffee is to die for. Just wonderful spots. So 3 spots for coffee in town that I enjoy is the coffee shop on Main Street, Coco Cabana down at the beach, Urban Parisian, which is located up near the Lakewood Elementary School. So thanks for tuning in. Listen, if you're interested in living in Port Dover and the surrounding area, and you want to learn more, contact me. My number, email address, ways of contacting me are all over this video. And hearing your story and finding out what your wants and needs are will help us find you the right home. So if you're considering moving to Port Dover, contact us today. We've helped a lot of people over the years find their home right here in Port Dover, and we want to help you too. So we'll see you in the next video. Keep smiling, and we'll talk to you real soon. Take care.